an attack on democracy by the Democrat Party. It's the same attack that we see, Sean, when you have California, a sanctuary state, that is refusing to turn over even illegal alien criminals and gang members to ICE. So these are illegal aliens in California who have been arrested by California police, by California law enforcement for serious crimes, for crimes against children, for felonies, for crimes that threaten public safety, and they are refusing to hand these criminal illegal aliens over to ICE. Instead, they're freeing them back into the cities to offend and offend again. By any definition, what California is doing is criminal. It is a violation of our laws. It is one of the most heinous things that I have seen in my entire...
Mia, is immigration a problem? I know what we're talking about, the Afghan shooter, but there's a lot of talk around, immigrants coming here. Is immigrants a problem in the U.S. or immigration?
I would say immigration is definitely a problem. So as of August 2025, we have 3,432,519 active cases pending before U.S. immigration court. You know how many years that's going to take us to work through the people that we have pending now as of August? I think we need to do an entire halt on all immigration for at least a period of 24 months so we can get back 3.5 million backlog. Like, these people, a lot of them are seeking asylum and they probably have very valid reasons, but how can we vet them? How can we get them in here and get them potential relief if we keep taking in new ones? I mean, the average wait time is over 1,400 days, which is approximately 3.9, like 4 years. 4 years waiting. Like, our immigration system is broken. At this point in time, we need to hit the stop button. We need to close the door. And we have 3.5 million people we have to figure that are here. These people are here. 3.5 million people that we know of here that haven't even had their due diligence to go in front of a judge and actually plead their case. So our immigration system is absolutely broken. We're not helping anybody.
So the guy that, committed this heinous act, he was an asylum seeker. This is what Kristi Noem had to say about him. She's in charge of immigration enforcement.
You deport people with pending asylum claims, Madam Secretary?
We will if they should be. Absolutely. Yes, we are going to go through every single person that has a pending asylum claim, has an asylum claim here in this country. One of the requirements of asylum is that you have to come in every single year for a checkup and an interview process and a re-vetting. And that is something that we're going to expedite and happen immediately with anyone who does have that asylum claim today, and ensure that they deserve to still be in this country, that they still have the purposes for which they claimed that asylum in place, and that they're not here being radicalized and perpetuating dangerous criminal activity against our Americans.
Ken, is America required to give asylum to people in other countries that are dealing with war, poverty, things like that?
No. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to make some moves that benefit the people here, right? So I put it like this. I think asylum should go to the brightest minds. Until you clean up like Kensington, Philadelphia, Skid Row in Los Angeles, like you go to Oregon, we got straight homeless encampments here. You know what I'm saying? We got people down bad. You got a fentanyl crisis here. You got people that are doing bad in America. So to let other people in, just no. If you're going to let people get asylum, they have to be like Gary Kasparov. They got to be like the top engineers in the world. They have to be people that's going to boost the economy. They have to be ill scientists. They have to be people that are on record for innovation, because you can't let people in that's doing the same as our lower class here. You got to take care of the people here first, because the people that's going to come here, they're going to go in the place where our lower class is. So what happens to our lower class cousins and aunties and people that we know?
For sure.
You're muted.
My screen froze. My bad. Slim, what you think about all this? I know you MAGA. What do you think about immigration, everything that's going on, and people coming over here and crimes being committed?
I think it's amazing that people are waking up to it. I want to say ever since the democracy was confiscated for the 2020, this has been going on. And when you allow things like this to happen, this is actually the outcome. Everything we're seeing, like that first clip you played, was perfect because he literally stated it was a plan. This is what I believe for 4+ years. It was a plan. What wasn't planned was for the man to win again. That wasn't the plan. So now that the man has won again, everything you're seeing is in reverse. It's just going to take time, like Mia said. But I'm loving it because this is what it takes for people to wake up. It takes for this information to be seen.
I'm gonna play the actual case. I'm gonna get Doc and Mr. Rippey to respond. Go get it on YouTube.
And National Guard members who were shot at point-blank range blocks from the White House. The Justice Department identifying them as 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom, 24-year-old Andrew Wolf. We understand they've undergone surgery and remain in critical condition.
We're also learning new details about the suspect. Authorities say the 29-year-old Afghan national traveled across the country from Washington state to the nation's capital before the attack. We'll have the latest on the investigation in a moment. First, I want to get to CNN's Brian Todd, who's live at the shooting scene. And Brian, you're learning more about how this attack played out.
That's right, Omar and Boris. We have important new information this afternoon on how the attack played out. We're going to get to what Jeanine Pirro said about that in just a second. But first, we have access here that we have not had before to the actual spot where the shooting occurred. I'm standing at the spot right now. And if you come over here with me, our photojournalist Jay McMichael and I are going to walk you over here. This area here, excuse me, ma'am. This is the bus shelter where, according to officials, at least one of the guardsmen tried to take cover at, and you can see that a plexiglass panel here has been shot out. You can see the fragmented glass up there. This panel is gone, and I'm going to walk you over here to this planter. It appears here that there is a bullet hole here that entered here and exited here of this planter. There's another planter over here. Jay's going to shoot you a close-up of that. And there's another planter here where this part has been removed. I'm going to walk you over here to show you that part of the planter that was removed. And in the meantime, you see a makeshift memorial here to the victims, people laying flowers and an American flag. Over here is a part of that panel that was actually removed. And you can see additional bullet holes here, one here, one here. And this looks like some evidence that was handled by authorities as they started to process the scene last evening. So in addition to that, we have new information from Jeanine Pirro. She is the U.S. Attorney General for the District of Columbia. Earlier today, she spoke to us about the sequence of gunshots. Take a listen.
A lone gunman opened fire without provocation, ambush style, armed with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. One guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times.
357.
And both of those guardsmen are now in critical condition at a local hospital. We have made inquiries with the hospital to learn more about the surgeries and about where they're being treated. The hospital's not gotten back to us on that. As Boris and Omar mentioned, they're identified as Sarah Beckstrom, 20 years old, Andrew Wolf, 24 years old. Those are the two guard members who were struck yesterday in this attack. Beckstrom has been on the guard since 2023, according to officials. Andrew Wolf has been in the guard since 2019. According to officials at the news conference, were sworn in yesterday. We believe that meant that they were sworn in not as new guard members, but sworn in as deputies for the U.S. Marshals, which they have to do about every month. Guys, back to you.
Brian Todd live for us in Washington, D.C. We hope to learn a positive update on those guard members at some point soon. CNN senior national security reporter Zach Cohen joins us now. Zach, take us through what we've learned about the suspect.
Yeah, we're learning quite a lot about his background. It's a 29-year-old Afghan national who came to the United States in 2021 as part of this program that was implemented by the Biden administration after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, it seems that why he was allowed to come to the U.S. in part was because of his work with the U.S. military and CIA. He was, our understanding, he served in an elite counterterrorism unit that worked directly with U.S. intelligence and military units in Afghanistan, including active combat against Taliban forces at the time. And so there were thousands of those individuals who served in those roles that were evacuated when the Taliban started to rise to power after the U.S. left. And it appears that was the basis for his immigration into the United States. Now, of course, several layers of vetting and took place after he got here. He was only temporarily allowed to come here at first, but his background with the CIA and the intelligence community does seem to be the basis for his travel to the U.S.
So what was that vetting process actually like? Because obviously there were a lot of Afghans that were coming over as part of that Operation Allies Welcome.
Yeah, by all accounts, it should have been very extensive. We know that in that initial process, he would have been vetted by the U.S. government, including the CIA. And then once he was granted temporary asylum, as he applied for permanent status, he would have gone through a variety of different layers of vetting. Those include identity and background checks, biometric vetting, in-person interviews, assessment of an individual risk, and eligibility under U.S. law. So that's several layers. And then it's important to remember, too, the ultimate approval and of his asylum application was granted under the Trump administration.
Mr. Rippey, he went through all this vetting process. You know, they interviewed him. They did biometric scanning. Is this preventable?
All I'm saying is something fishy going on about this whole thing. And I don't want to get into deep conspiracies and anything like that, so I'm keeping surface level. But I will say that, you know, just like we were talking about earlier, we need to get them out of here. Get everybody out of here. How on earth can you be this type of radical on a work visa working with the CIA and then not able to see anything that's going on? And the amount of people that's on the left that's actually celebrating and blaming Trump for this stuff, because I'm sure a lot of y'all know that I was actually out in D.C. a couple of months ago. You know, I went to the White House, I went to the state capitol, and I interviewed a lot of people. They want the National Guard there. So it's places like CNN that kind of keep putting my place on National Guards. That's a bad guys. But the people that I talk to that's actually out there in the hood, they say, I feel so grateful. I don't even like Donald Trump, but I'm so grateful they took the National Guards here. That way I can walk down the street with my kids and not have to worry about being robbed. They love this stuff. So I think this it could be a distraction. It could be a distraction. Just pushing a certain narrative out there.
Muted.
I'm gonna let Doc. My bad. I'm gonna let Doc respond to this one. But one of the things that were ironic was that, you know, typically the right is anti-immigration, but Trump was a person to grant asylum to this person.
In a filing in federal court this week, the Justice Department said that when the administration was ordered back in March to stop sending detained migrants to a mega prison in El Salvador, you personally made the final call to continue the flights anyway. Is that correct? Do you acknowledge that?
You know, we have court filings going on and decisions that are going forward. I'll let them continue to play through that process.
But did you make that call?
I'm proud of President Trump and his leadership and the decisions that we have made. And the decisions that are made on deportations, where flights go and when they go, are my decision at the Department of Homeland Security. And we will continue to do the right thing and ensure that dangerous criminals are removed.
So that you're saying that it was your decision. It sounds like the judge wanted to ensure that people were given due process. He said very clearly, quote, any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States, but those people need to be returned to the United States. However that's accomplished, I leave to you. But this is something that you need to make sure is complied with immediately. Did you defy the court's order, Madam Secretary?
No, Kristen, and that's one of the things that we continue to face across this country is activist judges who are using radical decisions that have no standing and no grounds to try to stop what President Trump is doing to protect America and to keep us safe. So we'll continue to do the right thing, continue to work and protect Americans, no matter what radical judge comes out and tries to stop us. We'll do the right thing and know that we're on the side of the law, the side of the Constitution, and the side of the American people.
So, Doc, is it the judges stopping Trump from doing his job?
Nah, Trump just did his job. And I disagree with Mr. Rippey. I have a cousin who lives in Washington, D.C., very affluent, his friend group, all of his friends, they own a lot of properties out there. They do a lot of business out there. None of those people are happy with the National Guard out there. The National Guard shouldn't be there. I think that was a mistake. I think Trump should have made some sort of change to the policing system in there. They've been there too long. He hasn't hired new police. He hasn't rolled out new police enforcements. And I just think that's a misstep on his part, as well as I mean, they granted the dude asylum. So I mean, I can't see how they could have any argument about he's not an illegal immigrant. He's a legal immigrant. They brought him here. Biden administration brought him here. The leader of the free world brought him here. This administration granted his asylum and kept him here. I don't see the argument. I think the problem is these troops shouldn't even be on the streets. Like they shouldn't even be a object to be attacked. They shouldn't be a focal point of that. So that's part of my problem. And then another part of my problem is we have someone in here, this lady who's in charge of immigration, and these people saying something's wrong with immigration. She represents a state that has less than 1 million people in population. She represents one of the lowest states by population. She has little to no dog in the fight. She doesn't have a city over 500,000 people. No one is going to South Dakota. How did we let this lady get up here and make the decisions? No one wants to live in her state anyway. This isn't a problem for her. How we let the lady who gets 0 people to come there be in charge of immigration? She has no idea, no pulse for what's going on. They have 930,000 people in the whole state. You could piss 930,000 people out of New York City right now. You wouldn't notice it.
Damn.
They say Trump pick his people on their looks. That's how Trump pick his.
And she can't even blink.
That's because she got that Botox. You see her facial rebalancing, the Botox, the filler. She had her jaw done. She had the buccal fat removed. I clocked that shit a while ago.
Something like that is a problem. We got some lady up here talking about immigration. She has less than 1 million people in the entire state. Well, at what point would she be knowledgeable about who's immigrating to South Dakota?
You got smoke with South Dakota, Doc. You just took a whole
for real
shit on South Dakota.
Well, both of y'all talking about the National Guard, and now they talking about deploying the National Guard everywhere. This is Trump's Attorney General.
To South Dakota.
Hand in hand with Secretary Noem, Homeland Security. Director Patel has already arrested 500 suspected terrorists since January 20th. We're working hand in hand
allegedly
with Hegseth. And yes, we are bringing in our National Guard to every city we possibly can. Who needs our help? And that's a lot of them. We're tied up, as you know, in a lot of court hearings right now. These young men and women in the Guard, they want to help our country. They want to be here. They are patriots, yet they will not be attacked by a radical Islamic terrorist who screams by reports, Ali Akbar, before shooting 2 of our Guard members and almost killing more.
Yeah, can you?
Slim, do we need National Guard everywhere? Because now they saying they go put National Guard everywhere.
Hell yeah. Because they don't respect the police. Period. These YNs don't respect the police. This is why it's happening. It's not that he want to do it. Y'all don't respect the law right now. So I believe put somebody out there that's real skillful. Fuck around and find out.
Doc, should the YNs respect the police even if the police are not good police?
Why should the YNs respect the police? The president of the United States doesn't respect the police enough to give them the resources, to give them the information to do their own job. If the president doesn't respect the police enough to put them in charge of their own neighborhoods, their own communities in which they are in charge of policing, he don't respect them. So how do you think the community
what makes you think he don't respect the police?
The president pardoned some people that didn't respect the police.
Yeah, he don't respect the police.
But what makes you think Trump don't respect the police?
His actions make me think that he doesn't respect the police. That's what I'm explaining to you. I ain't saying he said out his mouth he don't respect the police. I'm saying if he respected the police before he brought the National Guard in, I think he should have took steps to meet with the police chief. I think he should have took steps to reinforce the police in that city. I think he should have made steps to fix that before saying, hey, I'm going to take a 20-year-old girl from her home and deploy her to DC to do nothing but stand on the corner somewhere and deter. She's not arresting anyone. She's not pulling anyone over. She's not kicking down any doors, Slim. You think she's kicking down? I bet the National Guard. You think she's kicking down doors, Slim?
The reason it wouldn't work is because a lot of people are already mentally trained to hate the police based on what that administration has allowed and didn't allow from the police. When you start talking defund the police and you start showing all these videos and all, already the mindsets of the people is like, fuck the police. That we got songs called Fuck the Police. Like, really, that shit dead. Same thing with the immigration thing. It's like people think that this is going to be a nice thing for people to get out the country. They want people to pull up, say, yo, if you're an illegal immigrant, we outside, come on outside and get in the car, you got to go home. It's not going to look like that. At the end of the day, everything is going to look ugly because he's trying to fix this country. It's not going to be pretty. So there's always going to be differences.
At what point is the National Guard, they can't stay there, Slim. So at what point is he going to fix the police system and have the police keep law and order in the city? What you're talking about is a Band-Aid. What I'm asking you is, you're saying he hasn't attempted to fix the police, Slim. That is the law of that area. They're going to arrest people, take people to jail. The National Guard isn't going to do that.
All right, so let's hear from the man himself, because that's what Trump said in response to what happened.
Cause asylum into the U.S.
I think a long time.
Can you give any kind of time? What's
we don't
a long
want those
time?
people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit.
And then
but it could be a long time.
You said that
we don't want those people. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Do you understand it?
I understand.
Who are you with?
I'm with News Nation. Sir.
Okay,
My
News
name's Libby
Nation.
D.
News Nation. Great.
Thank
Let me just tell you something. We don't want those people. Does that make sense? You know why we don't want them? Because many have been no good, and they shouldn't be in our country.
What do you mean by those people? Can you clarify?
People from different countries that are not friendly to us, and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them.
How many countries, roughly, would you put on that list?
She said how many?
Yeah, how many countries, yeah. Would you put on that list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? There's probably more than that.
You mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about
I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother.
They talk about tomorrow, but Mia, the permanent ban on Afghan, was it necessary? Did the punishment match the crime?
Permanent ban on Afghans?
Yeah.
I mean, we should have, in my personal opinion, we should have a permanent ban on all immigration, at least for the next 5 years. Like I said, we have 3.5 million people that haven't even gone before a judge. We need to stop and halt all immigration at this point in time. Half of these people haven't been properly vetted. And unfortunately, we have destabilized the Middle East to the point where it could be generations before we see true friendship from them. And I don't blame them at all. We can't go in there for multiple generations, murder everybody in the family, and then expect them to come here and not sleep or sell us. I mean, I would hold a grudge if a country came in, killed my grandpa, killed my dad, killed my uncles, murdered all my cousins, destabilized my economy, stole all my antiquities, and then left. Like, see you guys later. Of course. I mean, it's no point in taking anybody from that region here, because we have done nothing but bring these people pain and chaos and hurt. We can't guarantee any of them are going to be friendly to us, because we've never been a friend to them. So it doesn't make sense to take people from an area that we can't guarantee friendship. And I feel bad because we did that to them. Those people didn't ask for us to go there in the 70s and destabilize them. They didn't ask for us to give all that weaponry and teach jihad how to murder, to fight Russia. Those people were living perfectly fine before we went there and destabilized them. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and we cannot guarantee these people are going to be friendly and not sleeper cell us. So I think the punishment does fit the crime at this point in time, because I'm America first and I'm more concerned about saving our lives here than I am those people over there in Afghanistan. Even though I recognize the reason that they're living the way they're living is because of the boomers here did that to them, and they didn't deserve that. And, you know, hopefully the people that did that meet their maker and they atone for their sins in the next life for that.
Well, it's a lot of.
Let me say one thing, Gray, and I think when we go in and we destabilize these countries and then we send our military in there, I think you will be able to relate to this because you know you've been there too. The people who interpret for us, the people who do these jobs for us, the people who work for us, they are those people. They're Afghan people, they're Iraqi people, and the job can't be done without them. It is virtually impossible. We don't speak the language, we don't know the neighborhoods, we don't have the intel. So we give these people the promise of, what do we give them, Gray? You can come to America. So we went over there, destabilize these people. We use these people. We make them take risks for their lives every day. They wear masks when they interpret for us. They wear body armor. They dress up in uniforms like us. And the promise is you can come to America. Without the promise of you can come to America, these people will not help us.
Well, you just brought me to my next clip, because that's the conspiracy around immigration and what they think Doge found. But here's the video.
Really going on. Doge exposed our immigration asylum disaster. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now, here's the story. Doge has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The Immigration Department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, Doge says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office. Doge also discovered that 1.3 million aliens are now receiving Medicaid. Millions received driver's licenses, some registered to vote, and Doge says some actually did vote. Try and square that against Democrat claims that Musk is destroying Social Security and cutting Medicaid. He's not destroying, he's weeding out people who don't qualify. Who is really guilty of misinformation in this case? It is not Elon Musk.
Mr. Rippey, this is a big talking point on the right, that immigrants get basically Medicaid, food stamps. Now they're saying get Social Security number. Is this an issue, and do you feel like this is factual, Doge finding all this information?
It's definitely factual. I've been saying this for the past few years. And the thing is, over on the left, they say it's never happened, but so much more evidence is coming out. I know illegal immigrants right here in Arizona. Right here in Arizona, I have all these benefits. They're friends of mine, and they disagree with everything I stand for, but they have these benefits. They go right inside they get all the health care benefits, they get Social Security, all these things. So when the left say it's not happening, I know people personally that it's happening to, and I don't like the fact that our tax dollars take care of people that are not American citizens. Just like me, I'm America first, and I'm damn near America only at this point.
In fairness, though, I think a lot of the services that we're providing on the under for them to keep their scales balanced, I think is based off the shit we take from them, though. Right? Look, like we have a lot of things in America that we don't know where it comes from, and the people are distressed from the environment that it comes from. So I think on the flip side, to keep their scales in order, those are the crumbs that they get back from stuff that we're already taking from them.
Well, another issue is that this happened right before the shooting happened.
Well, this just in, we have a Fox News alert from Brooke Taylor. You won't believe this. DHS is confirming that an Afghan national was arrested Tuesday after posting a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb with an intended target of the Fort Worth area. Mohammed Dawood Al-Okazai is charged at the state level with making a terroristic threat. According to DHS, listen to this. He came to the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome. So here you have it. This happened Tuesday. Texas Department of Public Safety. This is a second Afghan national, second one this week. Operation Allies Welcome. He had a terror plot. We know it comes the same week that deranged individual, that alleged assassin, took out 2 of our heroic National Guard, came here on the same program, Operation Allies Welcome, a program that we were assured time and time again by Mayorkas, by Jen Psaki, by Joe Biden himself was safe and secure. But here we have a second data point in 1 week that it was not safe, it was not secure. And we've got to look very hard at this program as President Trump is vowing to make change.
So
that don't even make sense, bro.
Go ahead.
So you're making a bomb on a heavily monitored site, right? Yo, TikTok will flag you before the video even is posted. You'll get an alert that your video doesn't meet community guidelines, right? What I don't like is these events to make it seem like these people are very primitive. Like when you study the history of Baghdad and you study the history of those areas, these people are very smart. And I have a hard time believing that these people are making bombs on TikTok, being that sloppy, being that dumb without no calculation.
Because they're not. They're not.
You said. So you said that's what? Okay, yeah. Got you.
Yeah, it's all fake, man. You ain't that dumb. When I first heard this story and I looked into it, I'm like, all right, come on now. And me, like I told Gray a couple of weeks ago, I went to school in Dearborn. I'm from Detroit, and the way these people operate, they took over a whole damn city. He immediately told me that and not only that, a lot of them actually did tell me that they was told they had to chant in grade school, "Death to America, death to America, death to America." So I'm like, yo, they all just need to go. They all need to go. Like shut it down, man, because we have too much empathy for these folks. Call me Islamophobic all day long, but at some point we got to shut it down, man. We have a certain culture in this country, and diversity is not our strength. Okay, and how? Go ahead.
This was Donald Trump's response. When
do we shut down the black experiment?
What you mean?
Diversity ain't our strong suit. When do we shut down the black? If Islamic ain't working, when they say the niggas in the hood doing too much violence, and we shut down the black experience, I just want to know.
I don't mean that type of diversity. What I'm talking about is diversity of thought, diversity. If you come from a different culture, a different type of ideology, and you want to bring that over here and you want to be a part of our U.S. Congress when we have a certain type of culture, and you bringing that over here, because I can't be a Christian man and go over to Iran and run for their political office. I can't even be a Christian at some of these countries. Why are we allowing them to come over here and just mix everything up? That's my point. I mean, you can be, Hispanic, Hispanic American, but if you want to come over here, you want to transform over to the American culture, that's completely fine. And Black Americans are part of the American culture. But these people from Afghanistan and Iran and Yemen, they're not a part of this American culture, and they want to come over here and run for political office and all this other shit.
So here's Trump. Hold on, let me play this.
Go ahead.
This is Donald Trump's response to it.
About this tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. U.S. officials say that the suspect worked very closely with the CIA in Afghanistan for years, that he was vetted, and the vetting came up clean.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens too. It happens.
I just love his vernacular. He went cuckoo.
Look,
he went nuts.
This is how they
it's
come
so
in.
Boomer.
They're standing on top of each other, and that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out. But they go cuckoo. Something happens to them.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're.
Hold on, Doc. I'm gonna go. You gonna go to Slim first. Slim, because you the MAGA fan. Is that appropriate for Trump to talk to a reporter like that?
Yep.
Oh my God. Jesus
I
Christ.
love it. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We focus on that politically correct. Yo, Trump is a gangster. New York expected. That's just what it is. I love it. Yeah, are you stupid?
Exactly. They called him a Nazi for years, and all of a sudden they want to be offended by this. Man, go on somewhere. They called us all Nazi supporters, and we voted for him.
Right.
Man, he might try to
Dodo
hear.
birds. Dodo birds. He said it perfect. He said it better than I would have.
This way, this the other party said. Oh, my mouth.
Stupid person, and there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in, and they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked. There were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful.
So, Doc, you seem to be pro-immigration with this. Is Trump out of line? Because you're right. People have helped the U.S. not just in the Middle East, but in other places, and they expect the U.S. to protect them because if they're in that country, then there can be harm caused to them if they aren't brought over here.
Trump is out of line. He's out of line for a lot of reasons, but one specific reason he's out of line is he is 2 generations removed from being an immigrant. And he's the president of the United States. His grandfather came from a country that we would right now not consider an ally. And he's the president of the United States, showing that they are good people who come into this country. They do a lot of good things, and their kids or their kids' kids can do just about anything, including become president of the United States. He is proof of that. He is the immigration dream. So how would it be that someone who achieved everything and owes it all to his grandfather coming here, not 30 lineages ago, his father's father, his direct grandfather, I know my grandfather right now, brought his family to this country.
True.
He just sounds like somebody who lost touch with, where he come from.
For sure. So it was another shooter.